Hi, it's Darnell with Whales and Recipes. Today I'm going to be cooking up a leg of lamb in the Emeril Lagasse pressure air fryer Duet. And we're going to see how it does with a leg of lamb right now. Alright, so here's the star of the show, our leg of lamb. It weighs in at 5.81 pounds. And so basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this out of the cryo bag. Also going to remove this net bag that you see. You can, if you weren't going to do anything to the lamb, which I would recommend you do something to the lamb before you cook it, but if you weren't going to do anything, it's got this cooking bag here surrounding it inside of it's like a net bag, and you could cook in that, but I'm going to take that off too because there's a lot that I'm going to do with it because you want to get that gamey flavor out of your lamb. And so I'll bring you back once I have this out of the bag. Alright, so I've got my lamb out of the cryo bag. As you can see, the lamb has a ton of fat all over it. I've also got myself here a jug of milk. And basically, to get that gamey flavor out, you want to trim as much fat as you can off of this lamb. That fat holds that gamey flavor. You want to get that out. And if you get that out when you cook it, it'll have less gaminess. But another key step is to brine in milk. Brine it for about 8 hours overnight or whatever in milk, and that totally gets rid of all the gaminess. The combination of trimming the fat and using a milk brine. So at this point I'm just going to trim the fat. Okay, so I've trimmed away a lot of the fat. You see on this side, I've left a little bit in some places where I didn't want to dig too deep into the meat, but for the most part, a lot of that fat has been trimmed off. And so at this point, I'm going to turn it this way, and I'm going to get my milk brine in there. Just going to pour my milk in. Try and get this as flat as possible, and then just pour on milk. Alright, it usually takes about a half gallon of milk to get in the brine of the lamb. So if you're wondering about exact measurements, you don't need necessarily a full gallon. I usually get more just in case, but usually about a half gallon will do it. So I've got my lamb in the brine now. Basically going to just stick this into the refrigerator and let it set for 8 hours. I'll bring you back later. Alright, the lamb spent time in the brine. Now I'm just going to basically pull it up and get the milk out, get this thing cleaned up a bit so I can finish the prep. Going to get my lamb dried off some with some paper towels. Alright, now I'm going to roll up my leg of lamb in a roll, and I'm going to some cooking twine. I'm going to basically truss it up. Alright, now that I've trussed the lamb up with some cooking twine, I've got myself here a cup of extra virgin olive oil. I'm going to pour that into this bowl. I've also got a teaspoon of thyme. I'm going to put that into the bowl as well. And I've got 1.5 ounces of lemon juice, or if you have like a whole lemon, you can just squeeze the juice from a lemon in there. Mix that up. Alright, now that I've got that mixed up, I'm just going to cover my lamb with this mixture. I'm just pouring it over and spreading it all over the lamb. All right, now that I've got the mixture all coated all over the lamb, now I'm just going to cut some slits. I've got about 5 teaspoons of minced garlic I'm going to be sticking in there. And I'll mention as I'm cutting these slits, if you have whole garlic cloves, use about 8 to 10 whole garlic cloves, and you can stick them in the slits, you can stick them in the openings, you can stick them basically wherever you want, just to get, you know, some garlic infusion into your lamb. All right, now that I've gotten the garlic on there, I'm going to put some freshly ground black pepper and also some applewood smoked salt on there. All right, so now the leg of lamb goes into the pot of the Emeril Lagasse pressure air fryer. So fits right down in there, real nice. I'm going to take some of my oil thyme mixture just for some added flavor. Pour that in there. Get that in there over the lamb. Now I've got 2 cups of water. Just going to pour that in. All right, now I'm going to put the pressure cooker lid on. Got that locked in. Now I just want to give you a close-up view here of what I'm going to do. Just going to hit the pressure button to get the pressure cooking. And I'm going to turn till I get to pork. Now I'm just going to press in on that. I'm going to hit the time button. I just want to go up 5 minutes because of the size of this leg of lamb. So just going to do 35 minutes, and Lord willing it won't mess this thing up. And so with that, I'm just going to go ahead and press in and start to cook. I'll bring you back. All right, the cook is complete and it did a good bit of beeping. So now it's basically going to start counting time up as it does its natural release. I'm going to give it up to 20 minutes of natural release time. If it's not done after 20 minutes, I'll hit the pressure release. But while it's doing its natural release, I'm going to start on my base for this leg of lamb. And the ingredients for the base are 1 cup, well, not 1 cup, 1 stick of butter. In addition to the 1 stick of butter, I have a 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil. I have 1 ounce of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of freshly ground black pepper, and 1 ounce of brown sugar. I'm going to basically heat this up, get it all mixed up. When I bring you back, I should have my base ready, and we'll continue the next steps with this leg of lamb. All right, the cool down the natural release time of 20 minutes just finished, not the cool down. And so I'm just going to finish the release now. And there's nothing that came out at all. That natural release already had finished. So, cool. Sometimes, even though that screen turns blue, you may still have some pressure in there, but this time not. Just gonna let some of that extra fluid drain off after I get this shook off. I'll get the lid out the way. Now I'm going to check the temperature on my leg of lamb. I'm reading 148, 149. That puts me just below medium well. Puts me at medium. I'm in the medium range. So that's pretty good for a leg of lamb. So now I'm going to get the leg of lamb out. So there's our cooked leg of lamb. Now I'm going to take this pot and I'm going to clean it up real quick. Alright, now that I've got the pot cleaned out, I'm going to take the wire rack and stick it into the pot. And I'm going to take my base and I'm going to cover my leg of lamb in my base. All right, now that we've got the baste on both sides of the lamb, going to put it back in there on that wire rack that I added. Now I'm going to put the air fryer lid on. Okay, now that I have the air fryer lid on, what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit the air fry button. Well, it's not going to let me. I'm going to have to hit cancel and then hit the air fry button. And now it recognizes I have the proper lid on. So now I'm going to turn the dial till I get down to fish, because I only want a little bit of time, so I'm pressing in on fish. I'm going to change the temp up to 375, and I'm just going to move the time down to just 4 minutes. Why I'm doing 4 is because this cooker does a 2-minute cool down at the end. So during that cool down, you're not supposed to remove the air fryer lid. So giving it 4 minutes plus a 2-minute cool down, it's going to get about 6 minutes or so of searing, because even during that cool down, it's still hot in there and blowing hot air on it. So I'm going to go with that and see how it turns out. So I'm just going to go ahead and press in to start that, and I'll bring you back. All right, it's all done. So getting the lid off of there. So hit cancel to try and cease that beeping. Let's see what we've got going on in here now. All right, looks good to me. Here we go. We got some searing on our lamb. I mean, if you want to sear both sides, you could, of course, flip it, sear the other side for some time if that's your desire. I'm going to go with what I have here. So going to basically, I'm going to just cut right down the middle. I'm going to try and get the cooking twine cut. And before I cut it, I do need to give it about 10 minutes to rest. So I am going to just give it about 10 minutes to rest, and then we'll cut right down the middle and we'll see what's going on in there. All right, I've given things 10 minutes to rest, and so going to cut right down in the middle. Here's how things look inside after having some time to rest. There you go. Just giving you a closer up view so that you can see full and close up how things look in there after that cooked. Alright, so now that we've cut it open, I'm just going to make a slice here real quick. Well, that just kind of came right off the other part, so let's just cut this down here and just make a slice out of it. It's very tender, so that's pretty cool. I'm going to get that over here on the plate. I also going to get a piece that's like right on top so I can get a taste of my baste and a taste. So going to just slice that off there. Going to just slice this slice off here. Alright, so I'm going to get the camera moved around and then we'll taste test. Alright, it's time to taste some lamb. Going to taste the piece that kind of was a more interior cut first. Now the part that has all the baste on it. Okay, so both slices taste very good. Both slices are very tender. Lamb, when it's always, cooked well, always a very tender bite, very lean meat. So both taste very good. I wouldn't say that the one with the base was overwhelmingly better than the one without the base. They both tasted very good bites, no gaminess at all. So turned out great. And so this is how you can cook up some leg of lamb and also sear it. And you can find this recipe in written form and others at superwaveovenrecipes.com. There's a link to it in the video description. Also in the video description, there are referral links for this cooker and others. Pay the same price but help this channel. Also, you can always come to this YouTube channel by going to waveovenrecipes.com. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at waveovenrecipes. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Share the video with a friend, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and good eating.